Hey guys, I'm coming to you with a class that I took at Frank Garcia's studio, and it was with Leah, who was the teacher, and it was to do a vintage junk journal. So let me go ahead and dive in. Now, I was not present for the whole class. I had to leave early because I went to the Knott's Berry Farm Boysenberry Festival. Guys, it was so fun. I loved it, and I think I'm gonna go again. So anywho, let's go ahead and dive into this. Now, when I took the class, I only was able to do the prepping of the actual binding part, this whole section, and the actual insert covers. All of the decorating I had to do when I got home. So I did completely do it my own way when I got home. And so everything that you're going to see as far as the layouts on the pages is pretty much my own take on what I chose to do. But I used everything in the kit that was provided. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is with matte board, and this is made with, I forgot which dye it was that she used, but it is the TN dye. So this right here is just a little like ephemera piece I chose to hang from up here. And this little piece of fabric right here was, I was sitting next to my friend Dawnette, and she is very into vintage stuff, shabby, and she brought a plethora of fun stuff to play with. So she gave me this piece of fabric and her stamp, and I just put that on there, and that's pretty much that. Nothing major. And all of this right here is from my own stash. I have a ton of different laces that so you'll see I have another one layered right there. And then the fray part that you see right here is the fabric that's lining the inside of the journal that was part of the class. The pearls that are on here is part of the actual trim. Now, I've had all of my laces for years. I cannot tell you where any of it came from. So I just pulled it out, and I happened to have just enough to cover the binding, and that was it. So, and then these pieces right here were part of the kit, and all I did was distress you're gonna see all of the ephemera, and the cut aparts are all distressed. And this part is just loosely tied. It just wraps around. It's not adhered to the actual book. And then down here, what I did is I had these, I wanted them to be fabric flowers in the top and not paper flowers. So I just had these right here, and they're very much brighter like this, but I did not want that bright look. So I just grabbed the ink that I've been using to do around the edges, and I just did that all on top of the flowers. I added paint, so I don't know if you'll be able to see the paint on here. And then I grabbed these little micro mini pearls, and they're just loosely put on here. So I added a little bit of fabric tack in little spots, because that goes through clearly. You never want to use hot glue because it gets cloudy especially when you're putting it on tulle flowers like this right here. And so they're loosely put on here. So see, I don't have every piece adhered, just little segments, I guess you would say. And this fabric flower and this one I had in my stash. This right here is a hairpin. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you'll see right here. It's a vintage hairpin that Doreen, who was Ooh La La Vintage Treasures, had gifted me, and probably when I designed for her. I have all of this leftover stuff from her kits because I absolutely love the stuff that she has. So I used it on the cover, and you'll see sporadic little rhinestones that I have on here. That was part of the kit as well. And that's pretty much the cover, guys. So I just added that. And then the knob, that was from my own stash. It's a Tim Holtz knob. And I was like thinking, how cute would that be to put on to the book? So I put that on, and you'll see that you screwed in. So I just got my crocodile punched through and then screwed it on there. And then I also added, because this is kind of thick, so I had to cut the lace. I had to cut holes in the center of all the laces. And because the mat board was kind of thick on top of cardstock, so I put E6000 as I screwed it on there because it was barely screwing on there. So you have to keep in mind that there's not a lot of give when you use these. And then here you'll see is all the beautiful fabric that was part of the class. And it's all stuck on here, guys, by Frank's tape that he sells. That's his brand. And it's insane amazing. It's holding the fabric to the mat board like no other. I love his tape. And that's what I use. I use 2-inch tape all the way on the bottom to hold the fabric on there. This super beautiful lace tassel or lace clip, I don't know the correct word for it, but Leah also created this, and she provided this, and we created it using the stuff that she provided. So I love this. I want to make a ton more. I really, really love it. A lot of the girls have been doing these with not vintage stuff, just regular bright fun colors, which are gorgeous as well. But I really do love the vintage take on it. So I'm gonna have to be busting some of my stuff out. This right here, it's a TN, it's put together like a TN. There's 3 different signatures in here. So meaning 3 different booklets. Okay. And then there's 1 insert inside each booklet. Okay. So this is using, I think it's My Sweet, and this is Frank Garcia's collection. So mind you, I am not a professional junk journal person, guys. So there's not a bunch of sewing in here and different fabrics. I don't have a lot of that stuff. I do have a lot of vintage stuff. But I have a lot of it packed up. So I used everything that was provided. And then I did gravitate to some stuff that I had readily available. So anything that you see that has the music notes or paper, that was from my stash. And I just distressed all of the edges of that. And I just stuck it on there because what I plan to do with this is not put pictures in it, but I do want to go online and pull some beautiful vintage images and then print those and put those in here. So that is going to be my goal. I don't have a printer, so that's not going to help me right now, but that is my goal to get, I need a printer regardless. And then, just find some beautiful images. I know some people are like, kind of find it creepy to get vintage pictures from people that you don't know, but I totally don't think it's creepy at all. Because there's a lot of beautiful images, whether it be of women in a different era or children or family. I don't care about stuff. I love stuff like that. And that's what I want to put in here. So I think it'll just add to the whole beauty of the vintage look you have. And so this right here is a fold out that Leah did go ahead and put into her junk journal. So I did do this while I was there. And so that I could adhere that in here. And then I went ahead and I see, don't you love that when you see glue strings? It never fails, every video. Anyway, so I just added these things on here. And the most amazing part about doing these is you just go random and add stuff everywhere. There is no straight perfection. It's just random. It's a junk journal. So I really did love that part of creating all of this. And so this side right here, I went ahead and just used my own book pages. This is one of Frank's ephemeras, and all I did was adhere the edges to make it a pocket, nothing major. And then these are a couple of the ephemera pieces. I added some of my own lace on here, and just so that it would be like a little tuck spot. I really loved that. This I had in my stash for forever, and then I just put that in there. I used this edge punch that Dawnette had in class, and I love it. I need to find this punch, guys. It's absolutely, I love it so much. She let me borrow it, so it is used a few times throughout my journal. And then this right here, I went ahead and just, this whole big piece of lace was from my stash. So look at how big this is, guys. It covers the whole book page. And then you'll see I added, I got my distress ink, and I just used my sponge and sporadically put it around so that it would look dirty. And who would think you would want that look? For something vintage, it's all good. And then I just layered the ephemera pieces on here, and and there's another one. And then these buttons was also provided in our class, so I used these on here. And then on this one, Leah did create a really beautiful, it was like a special type of fold, and then you needed a layer on it. And I opted to do a policy envelope instead. So this is using an 8x8 piece of paper, and I can do a policy envelope out of any size paper. Once you get the concept of how to put these, you can do any size. It's not rocket science, guys. It really is super duper easy. And then I went ahead and created this tag that she provided and everything here. I chose to put these little spools on here as opposed to the binding. Leah did put these on the binding of her junk journal. I wanted this on the top of my tag so that it dangles from the top. So let me go ahead and put this in, and you'll see too, I added different layers of paper onto this actual tag, and I used that border on there as well. So see, you see on top of here, they just dangle up top. I like that. And I kept it very simplistic. A couple different ephemeras, added buttons. She provided a ton of buttons, which I love. I love buttons. So, and then on this next one, she provided this vellum right here with these images on here, and she used the faces on here for different embellishments to put inside. I opted to not do that. I wanted to keep the whole sheet because I love all of this. I did not want to cut and throw away any of that. So I just put it in here just to be another piece of paper, I guess, to add here. And I just layered on here these pieces so that when I do get the images that I want, I'm going to go ahead and layer them on here. And this right here, you'll see right here, this binding, I made a mistake on accident. I put a piece of tape here and it was supposed to go on the reverse side, and I didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't throw away this paper. So I literally done it, had some glitter glass, and I just put it over the adhesive because I was like, I am not throwing this away. So I had to save it. And this is the next page. Oops. So you'll see right here, I added these pieces of music paper. This right here is flowers that were provided as well. And I did not like the centers of the flowers, so I popped all of them out. So this right here is one flower. Oops. Yeah, this is one flower, this pink one. And then this flower is another one. So I took out both centers and I put this button. I just removed the shank out of the back, which is just the little loop. That's what they're called, shanks. And they're plastic buttons, so you can cut them off. And then I layered the two flowers on top and then put that on there. Also too, wherever you see this gathered like pieces of thread, that is from this right here. When we were going ahead and removing it to fray it, these are what the fallouts were. And Donette was just like, I'm using these in my stuff. So you'll see right here, I used it as well. So they're sporadically underneath things, like under here. And I literally was tossing these in the trash. So I took it back out of the trash. Mind you, it's a crafty trash, not a trash where food went. And I was like, that's a good idea. So I went ahead and used that. You'll see right here is just that really pretty border punch that I used from Donette as well. This right here was one of the embellishments that Leah did do in the class, and it was with laminating sheets. So you can make like a little shaker. So that's what this is. So the buttons freely move around in there, and this really pretty charm was also provided. This clip is from my stash with a little charm. I went ahead and added that so that it clips on and off. And that's pretty much that. Here is the next page, and I just went ahead and cut apart all of these little button pieces from the 8x8, and I stapled it, and I stapled on just some of my trim that I have. And that was it. I did not do a lot of decorating because I want to put images on here. So I did the same with this, and you'll see right here, I just added the stuff that was provided in this corner. And then I just layered on a couple of, because I ran out of ephemera pieces. So I had to start making like some photo mats on here. And so that's what I did on this page. Here's the next one. This right here was a glassine pocket that was, all of this is provided in the kit, as well as these. All I did was distress the edges and put it on here and put them in the pocket. And that's that. I didn't do anything major. Then on here, I did the same thing. Took another couple flowers, took out the centers. Everything is distressed because they were much brighter and I wanted to tone everything down. And then you'll see right here is all that threading. And I just put that underneath. And then I just stapled this ephemera piece to this one and then glued it on. Then right here, you'll see I have nothing on the insides of here. This is where all the pages were 9 inches long, but we used an 8x8 paper pad. So we had to combine 2 pages to make the one. So that's why you'll see on every page, there's always a second paper on here, which just adds to the effect, which I really did like that Leah did. And I used that border punch. This right here is another vellum that she used for something different. And I don't remember what she used it because I don't think I stayed where she showed how to use this. So I just used it as an insert to put it in here. Once I start adding my images, it'll be all put together. And then this is the next page where I added just, you know, photo mat, ephemera pieces, distressed it. This was one last piece that I had from this trim right up here. And that was it. So I took off the pearl and I just, because it would have been too big for the closure. And then I used one of the buttons and I cut off the shank, put it in the middle. This right here is trim from my own stash. So I have them layered on here. I grabbed the ink and I just stressed it as well. And then here is the back page, which is the last one. And I used the envelope that was provided and this beautiful image I cut out of one of the 8x8 sheets. And I just stuck it in there and I stapled on the button. And these right here were a thank you gift from a purchase, from my an online purchase that I will be showing a video on from one of the small shops that I purchased some beautiful bows from. I just was waiting for a couple more things before I do the video. And that's all I did, just distress those tickets, put on some string that was provided, a button, and that's it, guys. So this was a ton of fun to do this, and it was very different for me because this is normally not my jam to do. But I love seeing other people's junk journals, and I do tend to like a lot of the vintage junk journals. My friend Tammy is a shabby, she's SS Crafter 1. She is a huge junk journal person. So, and I just love seeing stuff like that, just random stuff, clipped on, stapled on, no rhyme or reason. You know, I really love seeing other people's creations and stuff like that. So mine is pretty simplistic, but I really enjoyed putting this together. So this was a very fun class. I wish I could have stayed for the whole thing, but I had to go. And that's it, guys. So this, like I said, this is my junk journal from Frank's class. I will link below the information as far as classes on his website so that you can see everybody who teaches there. And there's a variety of things, guys. It's not just paper. I'm going to be doing a jewelry class very soon there. I have to put that together this week because I have a class I'm teaching, a journal class, but not for like this type of journal, for using your cinch. I'm doing that one this weekend. And I will also be doing a jewelry class. So there's a lot of random things that Frank does there. So make sure you take a look periodically. And I will also leave his, no, the Facebook is one is for his classes, but I will put his information below and then just check him out, because if you're in the neighborhood and you want to sit and take a class, it's the best. And he does his classes there too. So, you know, just to check in on stuff. But other than that, enough babbling. This is my junk journal. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I will see you very soon. Have an amazing and blessed week, guys. Bye.